Don Adams was a beloved comedian and actor who brought joy and laughter to millions of people around the world with his iconic role as Maxwell Smart in the hit television series Get Smart. But behind his charming smile and witty one-liners, Don's life was plagued by tragedy and personal struggles that ultimately led to a sad ending. From his early days as a struggling comedian to his rise to fame and the heartbreak that followed, this is the tragic story of Don Adams and the events that shaped his life. Donald James Yarmy was born in the bustling city of New York on April 13, 1923. His father was of Hungarian Jewish descent and managed a restaurant, while his mother was a devout Roman Catholic. Despite being raised in his mother's faith, Adams developed an interest in the world of movies from a young age. As a youngster, Adams had a habit of skipping school and spending his days at the movie theaters on 42nd Street. He would often entertain his fellow students with impressions of famous movie stars. Despite his truancy, Adams managed to complete his education but soon left in 1941 to join the Marines. Adams was deployed to the Pacific Theater during World War II and took part in the invasion of Guadalcanal. However, his active military service was cut short when he contracted blackwater fever, a severe complication of malaria. He spent a year recuperating at a naval hospital in New Zealand before being sent back to the United States to work as a drill instructor. After leaving the Marines, Don Adams found himself in Florida, where he turned to stand-up comedy to make a living. He honed his skills as an impressionist and quickly gained a following, but his true breakthrough came when he met Adelaide Adams, a nightclub singer whom he would later marry. With a growing family to support, Adams took on odd jobs as a commercial artist and restaurant cashier to supplement his income from gigs. But he knew that he needed to stand out if he wanted to make it in the competitive world of show business. To give himself an edge, Adams changed his last name to Adams, his wife's surname. This move allowed him to be the first in line for acting auditions, which were often conducted alphabetically. In the early 1950s, Adams crossed paths with comedian Bill Dana, who became a close friend and mentor. Dana helped Adams to reinvent his stage persona and rewrite his material, which proved to be a turning point in Adams' career. Under Dana's guidance, Adams perfected the distinctive high-pitched nasal staccato voice that would later become his signature style as Maxwell Smart in Get Smart. It was also Dana who encouraged Adams to use the voice in his stand-up routines, which helped him to generate consistent laughs from audiences. In 1954, Don Adams' talent was recognized when he won a contest put on by Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts. This led to a guest appearance on The Tonight Show, which helped him to gain more exposure and land appearances on other variety-type shows. Adams continued to make a name for himself in the entertainment industry, becoming a regular on Perry Como's Kraft Music Hall in the early 1960s. He also provided the voice for the cartoon penguin Tennessee Tuxedo in the 1960s. But Adams' big break came when he landed on National Broadcasting Company in 1963, playing an inept detective on The Bill Dana Show. It was during this time that National Broadcasting Company producers approached him about taking on the lead role in a new show they were developing called Get Smart. Adams jumped at the opportunity and lent his distinctive voice to his character, helping to make Get Smart a smash hit when it debuted in 1965. The show aired during the height of the James Bond spy craze brought on by the Cold War and quickly became a fan favorite. In its first 2 seasons, Get Smart was among television's top 25 most watched shows, thanks in no small part to Adams' comedic timing and memorable catchphrases. Once he landed the lead role in Get Smart, Don Adams became a household name. In the satirical sitcom, Adams played Maxwell Smart, a bumbling special agent who worked for the fictional United States counterintelligence agency, Control. The show was a parody of the James Bond spy craze brought on by the Cold War and followed Smart's battles against Chaos, an evil international organization. Smart was the complete opposite of Bond, relying on ridiculous contraptions like the unwieldy shoe phone that frequently called wrong numbers. He perpetually bumbled his assignments, and his partner Agent 99, played by Barbara Feldon, served as his straight-laced alter ego. Despite his incompetence, Smart managed to save the day with his unconventional methods. The character of Maxwell Smart was created by Mel Brooks and Buck Henry, and the show was an instant hit. It twice won Emmys for Best Comedy Series, and Adams himself won 3 consecutive Emmys for Best Comedy Actor from 1967 to 1969. Audiences loved the show's gags and quirky characters, like the supposed master of the skies who spied on enemies from inside vending machines and mailboxes. Get Smart ended in 1970, with Smart and Agent 99 having twins. During the show's run, Adams' character spawned catchphrases such as, "Sorry about that, Chief," and "Would you believe," which became instantly recognizable. The exchanges were comical in part because of Adams' delivery and distinctive voice that made every situation seem even funnier. However, despite the success, Adams always felt the character had stifled his career. He wanted to do drama, but roles never panned out after Get Smart ended. Quote, "It was a special show that became a cult classic of sorts, and I made a lot of money for it," Adams remarked in a 1995 interview, according to Cable News Network. "But it also hindered me career-wise because I was typed. The character was so strong, particularly because of that distinctive voice, that nobody could picture me in any other type of role." During the show's run, Adams wrote many scripts and directed several episodes. Afterward, he found success as a director, focusing on commercials. In 1971 to 1972, he played an awkward police detective in the National Broadcasting Company comedy The Partners. In 1975, Adams hosted his show Don Adams' Screen Test, which featured guests reenacting famous movie scenes. Adams also lent his voice to the 1980s cartoon character Inspector Gadget, another hopeless yet fearless crime fighter. However, Adams always felt that his career had been stifled by the success of his Maxwell Smart character, which made it difficult for him to land serious roles. He wanted to do drama, but roles never panned out after Get Smart ended. Sadly, Adams suffered from lymphoma, and his health had been declining since falling and breaking his hip a year earlier. He died of a lung infection on September 25, 2005 in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 82. Survivors include daughters from his first marriage, a son and daughter from his second marriage, a daughter from his third marriage, 5 dependents, and 3 great-grandchildren. Despite his untimely death, Adams' comedic legacy and contributions to the entertainment industry continue to be celebrated today. Goodbye and rest in peace, legend actor Don Adams.